just typed that in because I thought, it works well for me. I remember years ago, I am an insurance agent still, if you could believe that. So I remember talking to somebody who was very successful and, one of the agency owners, and he said, I always, what did he say? He says, I always ask, not a question. He was saying, I always say, I'm just going to experiment. And I thought, that way we stay out of our mind and we stay out of what we get caught in it. And so I used to use that, but then I started using, I wonder what it would look like if. I wonder what it would look like if I was completely healthy and I woke up and didn't make old lady sounds. I wonder what it would be like if I can actually go exercise and feel energized after. Because for me, a lot of times I'm not exactly feeling like all energized like I used to. So for you, what is it in the inquiry? What question are you able to come up with? And really look at your life that way, because I started doing, because I got this from Reverend Roby, but then I started thinking, wait, you know what, it's a great way for me to get past my mind, and it's a great way for me to, the things that are subconscious or unconscious in me, it's a great way for me to let go of that. And I know for you, anybody have any blockages in their life at all? Okay, I know, right? And so what would it look like if I didn't have that blockage in my life? That's a good question. And as you inquire into that, it's allowing spirit and allowing our helpers, I'm going to call our guides, our angels, our teachers, our black bear. It doesn't matter who it is. We've got a little black bear totem in the back. It doesn't really matter, because as I'm asking questions, a lot of times my totem's a black crow. A crow will fly across, and I'll know that I'm on the right track, and I'm in the right inquiry in order to change my life, and that's really what it's about. So I was listening to a couple of people, regarding this, and Michael Phelps, believe it or not, was on America's Got Talent as a guest. Did you guys see that at all? A swimmer. And he was talking about, they said, well, what do you attribute your success to? And he said, well, I was, and I think I talked about this last week, he said, I, as a little boy, always wondered, and I asked the question, I wonder what it would look like for me to excel so much in one thing that I'll have ultimate success. So he kept, shooting for a goal and shooting for a goal. Finally, he realized, hey, I'm really good at swimming. And so he then was able to hone that skill and continue to move forward, and look at him today. How many gold medals does he have? I don't remember. Like 20 something? 22, I know, and he said 28, wow.
Wow.
Okay, now that is living in the question, because he kept saying, well, I wonder what it would feel, I bet he kept going, I wonder what it would feel like to have 28 gold medals. I don't think he ever started that way, but he certainly ended up that way, which is awesome. And there wasn't anything in his mind, he said, and then he also said, I'm very competitive. And I thought, yeah, you are, buddy. But look at what he's inspired. I think he's inspired me. I don't know about you, but he's inspired me, because I feel like then I could do anything and have anything I desire in my life. Look at this guy. And then the other one was that I was talking to somebody here in our group, Penelope. And I wanted her to share a little bit of her story about, you really were living in the question and setting a goal toward your CDs. So I wanted you to share a little bit what you shared with me, because she hasn't shared this, and I was so inspired that, come on up, Penelope. Let's welcome Penelope up here.
All right.
Yeah. And share your story, because you shared a little bit last week, but I love how you produced how many CDs now?
3, and I'm leaving soon to go to Washington, D.C. to resume work on 4 and 5.
That's incredible, okay? But yeah, how many people create even one CD, and they haven't even done that? I mean, and you've done this. But tell me your story. You said, so at the time when you did your first one,
Okay,
that story.
so back up a little bit. you know, I didn't know how to do a CD, and that was, you know, that was my stumbling block for a long time. And I was working with a coach, and she said, well, do you know anybody who could mentor you? And the person I had in mind immediately popped into my head, which was Kate Wallace. Some of you know Kate Wallace. And, but I was shy. And so I'd write on my list every week, my to-do list, contact Kate, contact Kate.
Right.
And I wasn't following through. So the universe arranged it. I don't remember how long the time was, but I was at Tienda Ho, which is one of my favorite stores. And I come around the corner, and there's Kate, and that's one of her favorite stores.
Oh.
And I kind of like, okay, the universe went, Kate, would you mentor me in doing a CD? And so she broke it down for me, because I had no idea,
Right.
you know, of course, how you go about it, and then the cost, because it's not like I'm independently wealthy or anything, but, well, actually, we all are independently wealthy.
Well, we are, we just have to believe it, that's
Yeah.
right.
And so, so she mentored me through the process of doing the first CD, and George played keyboard on the first CD. And so that was good, and I'm glad I didn't know the cost before I started. That's one where you start and you just, it happens. So for those of you who have no idea how this works, it was $14,000 to do my first CD.
Wow.
And I did not have that when I started out. So once you start recording, you get hooked, just to be aware, in case you ever start.
In case you want to do a CD.
So my first CD, I released that one in 2008. It was all gung-ho to get started on number 2. And the economic downturn hit, and I was laid off of the job that I was doing. And eventually had to let go of the place I'd been renting because I was using up my savings, paying for it, put my stuff in storage, was traveling to house sit various places, and I was up in Oregon, and a friend of mine who also, like me as a licensed clinical social worker, said, why don't you look at retraining opportunities? So when I came back, I did that, and I got to participate in a 10-month training in digital multimedia and studio production, which gave me some skills that, it turns out, I can use in my doing the graphics for my CDs and filming and so forth. But I still didn't have it, wasn't able to find a job in my profession. That downturn lasted for a while. And so, despite that, the pull and the push internally to get started again on my music was so strong that though I did not have an income, I started on CD number 2, which involved going to Texas. The man that I wanted to work with lived in Texas. So I just sort of used the money that I had to do that. And the only reason I ended up doing, this is a little extraneous, but ended up doing 2 and 3 at the same time is that there was an ice storm. We couldn't go, we'd finished everything for CD number 2 in those 3 days, and we couldn't go to the home of the woman who was doing the keyboards. So I said, I had 2 more days in the studio, do you want to start on number 3? So that's why I ended up doing 2 at the same time.
Oh, perfect.
So I just kept going on it, even though, like I said, I didn't have a job.
Wow.
And just, you know, things would work out for me to be able to continue on that.
That's
So
great. And but back up to where you even got inspired to even write songs. How did that start out?
Oh,
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know your story.
well, I've written songs all my life.
Okay.
Yeah. And didn't identify myself as a songwriter until I was, I did my last year of college at a place called the Merrill Palmer Institute in Detroit. And I went to the movie Lady Sings the Blues, and on the way back, this song came to me. And I came back to the house where I was living, and I shared it with my friends there, and they kept asking me, let's sing it, sing that song, sing that song, sing that song. And all of a sudden I realized that they saw me as a songwriter and I saw myself as a songwriter. And just, if you want another one of those little being given inspiration in the moment stories, I have a friend from that era who was getting married and asked me to sing at his wedding. And I said, well, what do you want me to sing? And he said, whatever you want. So I thought, well, I'll write a song. So I had half of the song done as I drove to the wedding.
That's amazing! Wow!
And they weren't starting right away. It wasn't in a church, it was an outdoor thing. So I went and sat under a tree and had just finished the last part of it when they said, come on, it's starting.
Wow.
I love it. That's so great.
So it's kind of, you know, it's like making a commitment to it without necessarily knowing how it's all going to fit into place.
Right.
And it does.
It does.
Yeah.
Because you were following your soul's purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really were.
Yeah.
So while we've got her up here, anybody want to hear one of her songs?
Yeah.
Yeah! All right, the stage is yours, my dear.
All right. So I'm going to sing a song that I wrote for each and every one of you.
What?
Just as the heavens would not be complete without stars and the moon and the sun, the earth without you would not be half so sweet, and God's work could not be done. No, God's work could not be done. Without you, the puzzle would be missing a piece, the tapestry missing a thread. The gifts that are yours would remain unexpressed. Your wisdom would go unsaid. Yes, your wisdom would go unsaid. Just as the heavens would not be complete without stars and the moon and the sun, you're the earth without you would not be half so sweet, and God's work could not be done. No, God's work could not be done. For just like a snowflake, you're one of a kind, an original, exquisite design. And if you hold back the light of your soul, this planet's true brilliance can shine. No, this planet's true brilliance won't shine. You are the one. You are the one. Yes, you are the only one who can give what you came to give. And whenever you let yourself love and be loved, when joy sets your spirit on fire, when you take delight in this glorious world, you fulfill God's deepest desire. Yes, you honor God's deepest desire. And just as the heavens are only complete because of stars and the moon and the sun, your presence on earth makes this life oh so sweet and allows God's work to be done. Yes, God's work is now being done. You are the one. Yes, you are the one.
I was getting, what she used to say, I was getting goosies on that one. I mean, that was great. So what do you think, yeah?
Yes.
It's a good message.
Yes.
Wow, you put that CD with your book. I love it. So tell us, Penelope, because she's shy, tell us about your CD and where they could get it.
Oh, okay, well, I have 3 CDs and you can get it from me. That one's on the first CD, which is called I'm Here to Love.
Yeah, and that's great. She also has, doesn't it have the sock song on it?
The second one is Tiara.
Tiara, that's right.
That has the sock song on it. And the third one is God Bless the Man Who Knows How to Use His Tools.
So as you can tell, so I want you to just,
have the big truck song.
and I want a man with a big truck, and George said he has a big truck.
Yes.
So, yes.
So he's the kind of man every woman wants.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's great. All right, so what parting words do you want to say to everybody? Because you've had such amazing success. What would you say to encourage people, Penelope?
You know, there's that quote, like there's a quote, you know, whatever you can dream, do it. Just get started. Just get started on it, and the universe supports you.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, there you go. I love it. So I'm going to have us close out with one little thing. And what I'm going to have you do is pair up again. And I want you to tell the person what question you're going to live into. Because you're not going to go out here without doing something, okay? So let us do that and take a moment, find a partner, and living into the question, like mine is, here's what I'm working on. What would it look like for me to have $5,000 in my checking account at the center of the heart all the time? What would that look like? Instead of, you know, constantly looking at, whoa, what do we do now? Ah. So I'm letting that go because that's something for me. Or Roxy's was, or is probably still, what would it look like for me to have perfect health, which would be a great one, I think, for you, right, Sid? I don't know. So think about it. What would it look like to produce a CD? And then look at all the steps that showed up for you, Penelope. I mean, it's awesome. So find a partner and pick a question. It doesn't have to be anything big. What would it look like to just feel happy every day?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a good one. Yes? Okay, so pick a partner and go.